So I made the decision, as hard as it was, to go into this blindly, to go and ask for help. Like, I'm not one to ask for help. I have to do everything, not by myself, but work for it. And where hours were cut from work and then I'll just completely cut, it was now I couldn't afford to have a place by myself. And so I just went and ended up here. And I honestly, if I never thought I'd see myself in this predicament. This is not what I chose when I had children, you know, 7 years down the road, we're gonna be in a shelter. But I'm just very grateful and blessed that we are here.
I was a working 9-to-5 mom, traveling, taking my kids to school, going to work. I was taking 4 buses and 2 subways just to drop them off to school and go to work. And I had lost my job and I couldn't afford to pay my rent no more. It brought me down. Like, I felt like I just got punched in the chest because I had everything for my kids I could do for them. And it just made me feel like a failure as a mom because I lost my job. I had to move.
Because the first day we came here, she was crying and saying this is a bad place. But I told her, no, it's not. And then she stopped crying, and then
she loves us and she wants protection. So since she didn't have money and she was homeless, she didn't want us to be she didn't want us to be in the street. She worked as hard as she could just to get a better life for us and for our baby brother. And we hope we don't have a hard time doing that.
Last year at this time I was living in Amesbury. I'd been laid off from the National Visa Center in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and I was struggling to make the rent, pay the car insurance, and I ended up losing my apartment. I came to the shelter, I came to Mitch's place last year on June 17th, which is kind of important to me because that's my birthday and it was also Father's Day, so it was kind of rough last year. I've worked hard all my life. I've had homes. I've had, you know, really nice apartments, good jobs. I ended up homeless last year on June 17th. I was waiting at the bus station because it was raining and I needed to get out of the rain. So now my first time, it's hard to explain, but it was the lowest point of my life. It really was. I don't know if you can describe the feeling of waiting in line to get into the homeless shelter.
Like, when the first night we were here, one of the ladies sent my son down with like a gallon of milk and a box of cereal, and it just made me break down and cry, not because it was a bad thing, but because somebody's willing to help you. And that to me is like important. Like, I love to help people, but to receive that back, it's totally different on the receiving end, because you know now that there's people out there, good people, that are willing to help you, and you don't expect this to happen to you. But now that I'm here, I'm not ashamed of where I live, where I'm staying now, where my kids lay their head at night and eat dinner.
Like I said, if they ever become homeless and they need a shelter, they should try everything they can to get into this shelter, because this shelter is a fantastic, wonderful, outstanding, awesome shelter.
Not worrying about where he's gonna sleep, where his next meal is gonna come from. I think I just, with both of them, just wanted them to be happy and live like normal 7- and 12-year-old boys, and not have to take on the worries of myself or other adults. But I noticed that even though you try to shield them from it, they always know what is going on to one extent to another.
I know that it was something I had never imagined in my entire life, that I would stand in line outside the shelter waiting for a place, for a bed. But I was full of fear, and walking up this, it's only 3 or 4 blocks up the hill, but that was the longest walk I think I ever took. It took 100 years to walk up that hill. It was just, I can't describe it. It's really hard for me to describe those things except for being full of fear, waiting in line outside the shelter. Well, I can only speak from my own experience, but if you know anything about Emmaus, literally hundreds and hundreds of people are living in Emmaus properties. From the staff right up to the top, I have nothing but dignity and respect. Never ever did I feel like I was less than because of my situation. I always felt like, they treat you like a guest. They always called me a guest when I was at the shelter.
Did whatever, but it was sort of sad for me to see my mom in that kind of time. It was, I don't know, I can't really describe it. It was just really sad. Just to have a nice quiet home with me and my brother and my mother would be just, as I said, it would be great.
My goal is to get a good paying job and get situated and get my kids situated and then give back to this place. Like, this is my #1 priority right now. When I get situated and get on my feet, I want to do as much as I can to help this place. The more help that this place gets, the more that it teaches other people to help themselves.
I am gonna have to step up myself, and it takes a lot of determination. And I am a very determined person to get what I want. I just would like somewhere, I want my home back. I want to be at peace again with myself, and I want to be able to help my daughters. So it's more or less for me happiness and peace.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy, which goes away. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine awake.
What I would really like to say to all of the people that are gathered here today is that Emmaus does amazing work in the community. So my own feeling is that I've been greatly rewarded from being part of this community, and I think you should keep up the good work. Thanks very much. The final role of Emmaus is to assist me not only to have a place, a safe place to live, but also to put the pieces back together and move on. I think that's really the dream, is to move on.